Hey now, welcome to Fitzdog Radio. I just tightened up the head, got a little head shave from the wife today. I am prepared for my next role, G.I. Jane 2. There it is, first Will Smith joke, less than 5 seconds into the podcast. And it will be, and I promise you this, the last Will Smith joke I do on this podcast. I think we're done with it. I think we're okay for a while till something else happens. That was a fun week. Everybody got their jokes together. You should have seen all the comedians at the Comedy Store with their notes and going up on stage and doing their Will Smith jokes. Ooh, it was so cutting edge. It was so current. And now all that material should be flushed because we're fucking sick of it. Tired of it. Chris Rock is out there. Hopefully he doesn't have to address it. I don't think he's been addressing it on stage, but I'll tell you what, Chris has some crack writers on his staff. Chris is he's a writer. He's a writer and he hangs out with writers, and believe me, they are working on some Will Smith material, but they know it's a moving target and that a joke that might be funny today won't be next week. And I think he probably has too much respect for Will Smith to take a cheap shot. So my guess is he'll be talking about it more in more obtuse terms than ridiculing, like a cheap joke like mine about my head being shaved. But alopecia, by the way, I got it. I got alopecia. Every fucking bald guy out there does. We all got alopecia. I'm sorry, what's her name again? Jada. Sorry, Jada. Get a wig. Anyway, just got back from Chicago last night. It should have been yesterday afternoon, but that's what happens when you fly Spirit Airlines. Mornings turn into afternoons, and evenings turn into late nights. You just don't make plans the day you're supposed to be back when you're flying Spirit. And we flew American in, and then the only flight we could get back that let us spend some of the day with our son was Spirit Air. And I was like, fuck it. I know I've had bad experiences, but how bad can it be? Oh, that is the question, isn't it? That is always the question. When you endeavor to fly with the fine people of Spirit Air, how bad can it be? Real bad. That's how bad. From the second you show up at the airport, and they share a terminal, and they shouldn't use the word terminal when you're flying on Spirit Air because that's how many of the flights end. But you're walking along American, and there's all these American gates, and there's friendly people, and there's small lines, and there's chairs you can sit on. And then all of a sudden you look up ahead and you're like, what happened? It looks like there's a protest. It looks like there's a demonstration of people. And it's like, no, they're just waiting to get on flights. People packed in like fucking cattle. There's no seats. You can't even stand. You're shoulder to shoulder because all the flights are delayed. As was ours. We got there, apparently a crew member didn't show up, they told us. And so my guess is when you work for Spirit Air, you take a lot of sick days. And there's no extra employees. There's no flight attendant sitting around having a brunch on a Sunday waiting for her phone to ring to see if she can cover a flight to LA that afternoon. No, there was none of that. So we sat there for two and a half fucking hours because some asshole called in sick to Spirit Air. I get it. If I worked for Spirit Air, I'd call in dead. I looked them up online on Yelp. 1 star out of 5. That's how fucking bad it is. They've got 1 star, and you got to see Yelp has photos that people post, and it's just photos of like busted luggage, cracked down the middle, wheels torn off, just everything is destroyed. Toilets with shit on them, And then lots of pictures of people sitting with their knees pressed against the backs of the seat in front of them because the seats are so fucking tight, and your seat doesn't go back. There's a little fucking trivia they don't give you when you buy your ticket. Your seat will not move. Oh no! And the back of my seat, the headrest, it was literally, there was no padding. There was padding in other people's. Mine was metal. The back of my head was on metal for the flight. And look, what am I going to complain? I still believe it's pretty miraculous that we can fly from place to place quickly and relatively safely. Actually, very safely. Safer than driving. But, man, it was bad. And the people that fly, it's like Greyhound. It really is like a Greyhound station. Once you get to the end of the terminal and there's the 4 Spirit gates, there's a guy sitting across from us, and he's sitting there and he's digging. He's looking at his phone. He's digging his nose. He's like 2 knuckles deep into his nose, and then he's working the other nostril. And then, I'm not making this up, he put in both fingers in both nostrils at the same time. And he was picking with his thumb. And I mean, this went on for 15 minutes. And then finally I fucking snapped. And I go, dude, get a fucking tissue. Get a tissue. And Erin is grabbing my arm and she's squeezing it. And I'm like, no, it's vile. It's disgusting. But these are the people, they're just not attractive passengers. They're big and they're unkempt. And they're picking their noses, and they seem angry. They just all seem really angry, and like they eat a lot of cheese. I think that's a line from Elf. So then you get on, and first of all, you think you're saving money with Spirit, but you're not, because what they don't include is that you got to pay $100 each way to bring a bag on the fucking plane. Just to put it in the overhead, they charge you $100. Then you want to pick a seat, that's another 25, 35, whatever bucks to choose a seat assignment. Then you got to pay. I got the expedited because I didn't know what the lines were going to be like, and they frightened me into it on the check-in. So I paid another $12 to get the expedited security lane, and then I ordered a cup of coffee. How about this? How about $3.50 for about 4 ounces of shit coffee that wasn't even ready? That they go, yeah, we got to go make it. Oh, were you not anticipating anybody ordering it on your drink cart? And no smiles. You get on the flight. There's no welcome on board. Just angry stewardesses that look like they ate a lot of cheese. I shouldn't say stewardesses. Flight attendants. There were also homosexual men. It wasn't just women. And then, there's no TV screen. There's no Wi-Fi. You can't text. And then we get on this. This was the best. We get on, and I had booked strategically because the flight wasn't that full when I booked the tickets. I booked the window and the aisle, and I left the middle seat unpicked, figuring if we get on, what you can always do is if the middle seat isn't taken, now you got an empty middle seat. But I don't need to explain this to you guys. You get the strategy here. So we get on, and there's a woman sitting in the middle seat when we get there. And I said, hello, ma'am. Would you mind if me and my wife sat together? We can give you an upgrade to an aisle seat. Huh? What? Is English your second language? No, I'm just a Spirit passenger. I'm just a Spirit Airlines kind of a caricature. Okay, well, listen. How about you sit on the window or the aisle, whichever you prefer? Huh? We want to sit together, so could you sit? She didn't want to. She wanted the middle, like she's some fetishist. Like this is like an airline 3-ways for her. She wants to get sandwiched between people. Maybe it's the only physical fucking affection she gets is shoulder rubs from fellow passengers. So eventually I give her this stink eye. She gets it. So she moves. She takes the aisle, and we take the window. And it was brutal. Anyway, So let's talk about Chicago. I had a blast. Holy shit, is that my second favorite? San Francisco used to be my second favorite city in the country behind New York, but I sort of feel like Chicago might be my second favorite. I feel like San Francisco's resting on its laurels, and everything that's new in Chicago, in San Francisco is bad. All the Silicon Valley douchebags, the aggressive homelessness that's gotten out of hand. There's a lot of things about San Francisco that are not appealing, that are new, and Chicago just keeps getting better. And we went and we just attacked the city. We stayed in this Airbnb, and it was very nice. It was like kind of a weird situation because we thought we had an apartment, but it turns out it's an apartment. It's the floor of an apartment. But then there's a woman upstairs. It's like a duplex, and she's in the upstairs and you're in the downstairs. But what they don't tell you is that, like, there's an opening between the upstairs and the downstairs, so you can hear them and they can hear you. It's a little weird. And her mother was in the midst of dying. I think she actually died the morning that we were leaving. She was sobbing, and her mom was like 94, and she was dying the whole time, and so she was very upset. She was drinking quite a bit. She would come downstairs. The bar was downstairs, her booze, and she'd come downstairs and get Kahlua. She was drinking straight Kahlua, which was fucking weird. And so there was that, which is a little weird. And the headboard was about 3/4 of an inch from the wall, but it was shaky, so that if you moved in the bed, the headboard slammed against the wall. So having sex was just not a possibility. And I don't know that she didn't do that on purpose. Like, she doesn't want the guests having sex in her bed. And so there was no sex, which which was not my call. That was my wife being, polite, I guess. So anyway, we did a bunch of fun stuff. Saw Owen. He's the greatest son I could ever ask for. He is everything I would have hoped that a young man would be at his age. He's responsible, and he's caring, and he's smart, and he's a good friend, and he's a respectful human being, and he's funny. He's just the greatest fucking kid. And so we just stayed really busy. He's got 2 cool roommates. We took them out to dinner and went to this Vietnamese place that's a Michelin star restaurant, and that was amazing. And then we went to a play called King James, and it's what they call a two-hander in theater, which is a play with 2 people in it. And it was a play about male friendship. It was about these 2 men that bond over LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's set in Cleveland in a bar, and it's just the 2 of them. And the actors' names, I wrote them down because I was so impressed by them. Glenn Davis and Chris Perfetti. Chris Perfetti is on that TV show Abbott Elementary, which is a big hit now. So it's the Steppenwolf Theater Company, which is, one of the best theater companies in the country. It's very well respected, and I've seen many productions of theirs that they've done in New York. And it explored the way men use sports as a way of communicating and feeling things, but that there's more going on underneath. And it was funny, it was moving, it was beautiful. If you're in Chicago, highly recommend it. And then we also, the second night, we went to see this kind of avant-garde comedy sketch show called The Infinite Wrench. And you can see that. I would see that as well. That's like it's at night, late at night. It's at like 11 o'clock in this down-and-out warehouse space north of the city. And it was interesting. It was very interesting. The whole idea is that they were going to do 30 original plays in 60 minutes, which they did, and with 2 minutes to spare. But there's a lot of twists and turns, and the audience is very involved. And which the worst part is like we sit down and I immediately get called out. That's the last thing my son wants is his comedian father getting involved with the fucking comedy show that we're going to see. And I'm gonna, distract with my huge celebrity. No, but just like he's used to seeing me in the middle of things. And like, can we have a night off, Dad? So luckily that passed very quickly. And there was nudity, which was not good. They were not attractive. They were very talented comedians, but they were not attractive people. They looked like they could be on a Spirit Airlines flight. But really smart, funny stuff. We also went to the Art Institute, which is my favorite art museum in the country. Their Impressionism wing is better than anybody's in the world outside of Paris, I would imagine. And they had some Egyptian exhibits, and they had this really cool room filled with I'm going to bore you guys. Whatever. Go to the Art Institute, and then we also went to they have a natural history museum. We clocked in over 15,000 steps each day for 3 days. We just were on the go, and it was raining, shitty Chicago weather, but it didn't matter. Didn't bother us. Kept moving. We had our dog sitter, who's amazing. She's great, and she loves our dogs more than us. Sends us photos of our dogs, videos. She's enjoying them. I want them to go with her. I want them to leave with her when she goes so she can love them, because we don't. No, we do. I love my dogs. I make fun of them, but they're hard to love. You know, they just the amount of pissing and shitting and biting each other and whining in the middle of the night, and it's brutal. It's a full-time job. I also want to give a couple shout-outs. Congratulations to Louie C.K. on his Grammy win last night. I recorded this on Monday, so it was last night. He went to the Grammys and he took home the Best Comedy Album, which was a slam dunk. I mean, there was a couple good albums in the mix there, but he was by far the funniest. So congrats to him. Congrats to Gerard Carmichael, who hosted SNL on Saturday and fucking killed it. He is a real talented dude, good friend, and I'm very happy for him. He was very, very calm and centered and funny. It was great. And then congrats to Judd Apatow, whose movie The Bubble came out. Me and the wife enjoyed it. I was a little cautious because some of the reviews weren't great. But I think it's because he makes 2-hour comedies, and people don't want to sit necessarily for comedies for 2 hours all the time. And so they go in with a little chip on their shoulder. But I thought it was very funny. I laughed out loud a bunch of times, and good cast. What's his name is so fucking good. Fred Armisen was great. And Judd's daughter is amazing, Irish. She's so fucking talented. She's going to be a big star. And who else did I want to congratulate? I guess that's it. I guess that's all the people I have to congratulate. Friends of mine that did good things this weekend. I did want to talk briefly about the Grammys, that Olivia Rodrigo was up there and she won a bunch of awards. Best New Artist, Best Album, Best Live Performance, something. I can't remember what, but she cleaned up. This was her monster year, and she's got over 1 billion streams of some of her songs. And so I listened. I was curious. So I went on to Spotify and I just played her most, her biggest hits. And Jesus Christ, the girl's 18. Every single song is about a post-breakup and about how the guy is now with somebody else and he lied to her. And it's like, sweetie, you're 18. Fucking lighten up. Like, you really can't have your heart broken that many times. First of all, you're stunning. You're beautiful. You're now rich and famous. And you did, and so you're going to keep writing songs about break. First of all, no one's going to break up with you anymore. Because number one, they don't want to get written a song about them. And number two, you're beautiful and rich. And so who's going to fucking leave you? You are going to do the breaking. Your songwriting's going to have to change. Unless you just want to act like a fucking bitch and drive people away from you so you can keep writing breakup songs. But I mean, I swear to you, like the first 5 songs on her Spotify are all about being broken up with. And it's like, what about the future? What about the present? What are you looking in the past for? You just turned 18. God. So, but you know, whatever. Apparently she writes her own songs, but she's another like Disney TV show. Then Geffen comes in and overproduces the shit out of the songs, and then they've got a fucking PR team that puts her at the top, and it's all very predictable. The music's not great. Her voice is very good, but you know the songs are they could tell they were written by a teenager. Nothing interesting about them. There's our segment for the week. The 55-year-old man shits all over the 18-year-old girl singer. 56 as of the day this comes out. Actually, this comes out on my birthday. April 5th is my birthday. I'm 56 years old. I look fucking 55. Maybe tomorrow I'll look 56. Got some emails from people. Fred Mertz wrote in, funny you mentioned dating apps for friends during the opening of the Tim Kazurinsky episode. A few years ago, I got divorced. I lost a lot of mutual friends afterwards and found myself wondering how to meet and make new friends later in life. One of the apps I was using for dating was Tinder. I discovered they had a section for making friends, so I tried it out. The first connection I made, the guy messaged me with 3 words, top or bottom. Needless to say, the next 5 connections were the same way. Why do guys have to ruin everything? We're degenerates. That's fucking hilarious. I mean, that doesn't mean you can't still hang out with the guy. You just call tops. Tops has got to be a lot more fun than bottoms. Bottom sounds like you're doing someone a favor. Top sounds like that's a party. I guess I just said what I am. Jim O'Brien, there's a couple of overheards. Sitting outside at a burger place in West Hollywood eating lunch when a homeless guy walks by and does a bum's blow right in the middle of the sidewalk. I guess that's when you blow your nose without a handkerchief. And then he screams, quote, "Fuck Russia, punk-ass bitches." Well, I guess everyone's political now. Even the homeless. Even the homeless are political. Where's he getting his news, by the way? It used to be bums would sleep with, and were you saying bums? Homeless. When they were called bums, they slept in newspapers, and they read the newspapers, and they were learned. Now, I don't know where this guy's getting his news, but he's very upset. Darren Harris wrote in, Saturday morning in Macy's jewelry department. Guy in his early 20s, holding his head with both hands, leaning on a glass, clearly hungover. Quote, opening that second bottle of Jack Daniels last night was a big mistake. Girl, around 20 years old and early stage of pregnancy, staring through the glass at rings. Well, don't worry, because once we get married and I have this baby, you won't be doing that ever again. Oh, darling. I disagree. I think that's when the heavy drinking starts. That is when you find out how many bottles of JD this guy is really capable of, because you're in your early 20s. And that is a bad idea. I'm not saying you should have an abortion, but ... Craig Cook writes in, another overheard, outside a grocery store in my town, an approaching middle-aged woman, what appeared to be her 20-ish daughter, who was pregnant. Everybody's pregnant. And just putting out I don't believe in this one. Nah. Not buying it. Sometimes I read them and I realize, nah, that one's not real. Here's what is real, motherfuckers. Me coming to your town and telling some jokes and us hanging out after the show. I will be in La Jolla, which is in San Diego, on April 8th through the 10th. That's this weekend at the Comedy Store. I will be at the Spokane Comedy Club, April 14th through 16th. At the Howlin' Wolf in New Orleans on April 21st. That's going to be fun. Lafayette, Louisiana, Club 337 on April 22nd. Plainville, Massachusetts at a casino on April 23rd. Denver Comedy Works, April 28th through the 30th. Then at the Tacoma Comedy Club, May 19th through 21. Also in May, Irvine Improv, and then Bakersfield, California at the Well. All tickets available at Fitzdog.com. Listen, people, here's something we talk about a lot on this show is mental health. And one of the ways that you can work on yours is to realize that it can get physical. The stress that you experience in life, if not dealt with in a constructive way, can lead to headaches, teeth grinding, digestive disorders. So, don't worry, because you can find ways of dealing with this. Maybe you're oversleeping. Maybe you're undersleeping, eating issues. I had a lot of problems with anxiety and stress. I mean, during the pandemic, especially, I started to worry about money. I started to worry about my career. Is it over? Because now there's 2 years where I won't be working, and then who knows if I'm still relevant. I mean, like a lot of crazy neurotic stuff, which is all untrue. But your thoughts are who you are, and if you don't get some help getting your thoughts in line, you can live a miserable life that's based. It's called cognitive behavioral therapy. It's one of the things I dealt with, and if you go to BetterHelp, they will help you find somebody that deals with these things. So I look forward to it. During the pandemic, I would do it every week. I looked forward to it. Sometimes I dreaded it. Sometimes I was like, I don't want to go there right now. But I did it. And there was not a single time I didn't leave therapy feeling better, calmer, more confident, and just happier. So BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist. So you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Give it a try and see if online therapy can help lower your stress. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Fitzdog Radio listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Fitzdog. That's BetterHelp.com/Fitzdog. Get involved. All right, let's get to our podcast. Jesus, sorry, it's a long intro. My podcast today is a guy that's been on many times, and he's a dear friend of Mike Gibbons as well. So Mike jumped in on the podcast, which was fun. So it was the three of us, and here he is. He's got a new album out. It's called Sex, Drugs, and Country Music. It's out on April 5th. It's not out yet. It's out on April 15th. And it's produced by Dave Cobb, as his other albums were. And you're going to love my talk with the great Wheeler Walker Jr. I'm joined today by a guy who used to be in the studio a lot during Fitzdog Radio, and he earned himself a place on a regular podcast with me called Sunday Papers. Mike Gibbons.
Oh, what? There's a guest.
Well, I got to set the table.
All right, that's the weird. Okay, great. All right, hey man.
Also, more importantly, our guest tonight is how do you describe somebody who's sold millions, hundreds of millions of. Not sold, streamed.
I wouldn't
online.
Introduce him second, but go ahead.
He's got an album that was, I believe, the second highest selling album in country music last year.
I don't know the stats, but I'll tell you one thing. I just got a text on the way over here. Where do you want your gold records sent?
Is that true?
That's true. Fuck you, bitch. Went gold.
No shit.
And I'm going to send a copy to my parents.
Whoa.
And I've got like a fucking gold record that says, fuck you, bitch.
Perhaps we should. It's Randy Travis is in the studio.
Yeah.
Yes. Wheeler Walker Jr. is here. Welcome back to the show. This is your at least third or fourth time.
I've been on a lot, man.
Yeah.
Some with Mike Gibbons, some without Mike Gibbons.
Oh, man, I'm flattered he knows me.
Yeah. I'm a big fan because he's done a lot. You did Tosh, right? I fucking love. Man, that's a funny show.
Oh yeah, it's a little mean. You like mean stuff, I guess.
Yeah, well, he rips on those clips, man, and I fucking love clips.
He loves ripping. He loves clipping.
You prefer clips to feature-length
No, I love
movies?
ripping. I love ripping and clipping.
And dipping.
Yeah.
Do you dip?
I do not.
No, that's unusual for a guy like you.
Yeah, what's this with the singing? It's hard, you know.
Right.
Do you have at least the outline of the can in your jeans? Isn't that cred?
Yeah, I put it in my jeans. I don't put it.
Right,
you know.
right.
But yeah, my buddies who do it and sing get a sore throat occasionally.
Yeah.
And then how do you get those stains in your beard?
What do you mean? I got stains in my beard right now?
Yeah. Oh, there we go. We got a cup.
Look at that.
What's that for? Oh, there we go.
Oh, just to
Nice.
show because it's filthy.
We're
inside.
branding. Yeah, it's a little fun. You guys have been using it as
Maybe
a
that's how you got-
ashtray inside.
That's how you got the stains in your beard. Is this
Yeah.
is this his cup?
So Wheeler Walker Jr. and I've never asked you this, and I've been thinking about it. Who's Wheeler Walker Sr.?
Well,
Tell us about him.
guess. I'll give you a guess. Well, I'll give Mike Gibbons a guess. Where do you get the name Junior?
I think it's your uncle because I think you're an orphan. And no, I don't know. It's almost like the Bob Dylan origin stories. He would
Right.
he would change his story every time because he was so sick of the media. I'm imagining it's the big guy, Daddy-O.
Yeah, Wheeler Walker Sr. And
Yeah?
that's why my son's Trey, Wheeler Walker III.
Nice. And did your father do music?
He didn't. He was a country music fan.
Yeah.
But he did not. He did not play.
Right. What music did he expose you to when you were a kid?
He started off with more of the old bluegrass and the old, the old timey stuff, and then he got into the shit that, got me going. Waylon, Willie, because I liked rock a lot growing up and the heavier shit, and you listen to Waylon now, it's like, why is that different? Why is that not rock and roll?
Right.
And it was to me, Waylon and Skinner are. I know they sound different, but to me they're very similar types of music. It's electric. And Dylan, you were talking about Dylan. Dylan used to always say that when he went, his big argument when he went electric, he would get mad. He goes, country music's electric.
Yeah.
And he's like, no one's upset about that, but, and I loved, I liked rocking out, and then I heard Waylon. I was like, well, that's the kind of music, 'cause I'm from Kentucky, that's the kind of music they play around here, but with a little more fucking rock to it. So
Yeah.
I dug that,
And then I read an interview where you said you really appreciated the songwriting of who's the best country songwriter?
Billy Joe Shaver?
Oh, well, he's amazing. No, old school guy. Like he has a great one about
Shel Silverstein?
Shel
No,
Silverstein.
he did write some big.
Oh, all
Shel
right.
Silverstein's a country
Well, Shel
music
Silverstein wrote A Boy Named Sue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he also
No, I'm the many consider the greatest songwriter of all country. Oh man,
Hank Williams?
No, he has like a tricky song where she won't miss me when I'm when I'm gone or she's gone. God damn it, I'm so illiterate. I'll get in a minute. I'm going to Google him. George Strait.
No, not George Strait.
No.
George Strait didn't really write any of his own tunes.
Fuck.
I think you're thinking about George Jones.
George Jones.
George Jones did not. George Jones probably my favorite country singer.
That's what I mean.
But
okay.
he did not. He didn't write. I don't know if he wrote any songs. But he's
really?
He was not a big songwriter. But yeah, he stopped loving her today. Is probably what you're thinking about.
That's exactly
Which
what
it
I'm
turns
thinking
out
of.
by the end of the song turns out.
Spoiler.
He stopped loving her today because he's no longer alive.
See? I see dead people.
But yeah, it's a great tune. But I don't think he wrote it.
Oh, I thought he did.
No.
Because I know you have mad respect for that guy.
I do have mad respect for George.
I know
Yeah.
Norm Macdonald was a big Billy Joe Shaver fan.
Yeah, I met Billy Joe through Norm.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys went to a show in L.A. together, right?
Yeah.
He used to play just like a little place up in like North Hollywood or something.
Yeah, I came out here to, do some press or something. Billy Joe was a fan, and we just started texting. Billy Joe would send me text, all caps, everything,
Yeah.
And like, that he was a fan. I was like, so the guy, my favorite, not to get too deep, my favorite Waylon album is called Honky Tonk Heroes. Mm-hmm. And Billy Joe wrote every song on that album.
No
by
shit.
himself. Because in country music, especially nowadays, that's so shitty. You look at these songwriting credits on country music albums, there's like 8 people wrote it. Billy Joe wrote all his songs by himself, Dylan style. And I think the story was he met Waylon and he said, I'm the best songwriter you've ever met. Waylon, pulled out a knife or something, play me what you got.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, that is pretty damn good, but one song don't make you a great songwriter. And he played 10 more, and he loved them all. And he recorded Honky Tonk Heroes, it's 11 Billy Joe Shaver songs.
Wow.
Wow, that's amazing.
And there's really cool like country writing. Like Chris Christopherson has those amazing songs where he's slipping like, lyrics under the door of Cash.
According to Norm, who told me this story, because Billy Joe was probably too humble to tell me the story, was that, because the question was, if the album was so great and Billy Joe Shaver wrote every song, right, why didn't Waylon do more? He never recorded a Billy Joe Shaver song again.
Whoa.
And Norm told me that Billy Joe told him, and again, I hope I'm not speaking out of school, don't think I am, that the Rolling Stone review of Honky Tonk Heroes said, fucking great album, but the real hero here is Billy Joe Shaver, which upset Waylon. And that's according to Billy Joe, I don't know, but that you don't want, if you're a solo country artist, you don't want someone else to be the hero of the album.
Sure. Have you written songs for anybody else?
I have not. I've tried before because I thought there would be money in it, but the problem is my songs are country.
Yeah.
And this country music now is fucking tight jeans and, rap and bullshit pop, so it just don't work.
Right.
It just wants to be liked so badly.
Yeah.
Which is the opposite of those. I wish Billy Joe Shaver wrote some Elton John songs.
Oh, he fucking hates Bernie Taupin. He's got to think about Bernie Taupin.
What do you hate about him?
It's the, whatever. You got a half hour? It's the craziest relationship ever. Here's an envelope that arrives at Elton John's piano, and he opens it, and it's the biggest piece of shit lyrics ever. Like Rocket Man. David Bowie's Space Odyssey had come out like a year and a half before that, and it's like Rocket Man's like, it's just garbage lyrics. I don't have them in front of me. They're the worst, but it was given to this crazy talent that could absolutely make whatever's written even
There
on
was
these
a guy,
notes.
he did a show one time, and he said he was sitting at the piano, and he was taking questions from the audience, and somebody said, I think it was in Germany or something, and he goes, can you take the instructions to a microwave oven and write a song and use the instructions as the lyrics of a song? And he started playing, and I'm not shitting you, he put a melody behind it that had swell, and it had it was fucking amazing.
But what a killer fucking job. Is that the greatest job of all time?
It's the greatest job of all time.
That he makes half Elton Publishing for sitting at home sending in fucking. But
listen to an Elton John song next time, and then imagine none of the music. Imagine a piece of paper.
I'll re-listen and think, but let me defend the dude for a second.
Nope.
What if something about those lyrics inspired him to write those songs? But I guess your instruction manual
inspired him also.
Example doesn't help the argument.
It was pretty tight instruction manual and had a nice hook in it and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh no, whatever.
And my favorite Elton John song is "Funeral for a Friend," which is mostly him just playing piano with just a couple.
The other
words
thing too is because
Bernie
Taupin, right, is straight.
Yeah.
So he's writing songs about women. Because I had a job. I was working at a farm once, and when I was in high school, and there was a dude there, and he goes, "Man, I love Elton John's music, but it's weird that he's singing about dudes." And then I thought about it years later when I knew more about songwriting. I was like, is he singing about dudes? Because the guy who wrote the lyrics was writing about women.
Yeah.
So
there's also confusing ones like I think it's "Goodbye Yellow Brick Road," and it's Taupin saying like, "Get me out of the penthouse, get me back to the farm." And Elton John must have been like, "I fucking love the penthouse. The farm's the last place I want to be."
Yeah.
Elton John does not look like a farmer. I'm with you on that.
I'm not going to tag dudes on a farm. It's going to be in a penthouse.
It is weird because if you talk about, we talk about Dylan creating a character for himself. Elton John never had a character. He would wear costumes and
except that Elton John is not his name, right?
Probably.
I
What's
forget.
his name? Yeah.
I forget what.
But I mean, but
it
song to song, the narrator changes. There's no kind of theme to who Elton John is. It's just
his theme is just hit songs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I saw you play the Troubadour once, Wheeler, and that's where Elton had his real moment.
Right.
I mean, that's where that moment was. Yeah.
Yeah, that was that was the first crazy Wheeler show where I was like, they booked me at the Troubadour. I was like, I knew it was like a, famous place.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, we ready for this? The album had just come out, and I got a call that I'd sold it out. And I was on the stage, literally I was on the stage, and I was like, man, there's some scuff marks here, and, who played here last night? They're like Guns N' Roses.
Wow.
They were testing out before they did their reunion tour.
Wow.
And they said because a lot of it was blocked off, that's where Axl would walk in and get like his oxygen and stuff. He does that, takes
I didn't know that.
But they told, I don't think they were supposed to tell me, nor was I probably supposed to tell you on a podcast.
Oh.
But between songs, you go in and take oxygen.
Maybe he's just an early adopter of COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. He's always ahead of it.
Yeah.
Well, I want to get back to the gold record for congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's huge. And
I think they're gonna. They may present it to me on stage at the my big. I don't know if you know about this show. My big comeback tour and comeback album. We're doing the Ryman
Auditorium.
Ryman sold out, and they're probably gonna. I'll probably show that thing off at the Ryman. I would assume.
Yeah.
That'll probably be the presentation.
Wow. When is that show?
That's April 14th.
April 14th, but good luck, buddy.
Oh, really?
StubHub.
It's sold out, and if people don't understand Ryman Auditorium, it's basically, isn't it? It's related to the Grand Ole Opry, right?
Yeah, it's the mother church of country music. It's where the Grand Ole Opry was, but now the Grand Ole Opry's in fucking,
Oh my God.
shopping mall kind of area. But yeah,
Right.
It's
no,
not-
but it's the most famous. It is the mother. It's a church, really.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great, man. Yeah,
Nice.
bring that gold record up there. Where are you going to hang it?
Probably bathroom.
Yeah.
So, well, because
Good way to
it
go.
matches the gold toilet.
Yeah,
So wait,
and
that's
my gold turds.
that's your that's what sold them. That's your first album.
That's my first single.
Okay.
It's a gold record. They do gold records for singles.
Got it, yeah,
I don't know
that
how it
whole
works.
confusing
They
stuff,
think
yeah.
they do like X amount of streams equals certain number because it's all fucked up now. No one knows what anything is, but
What album are we at? Third?
It's a fourth.
Fourth album. You all right there?
Yeah, I'm okay. The new
Hey
album.
man, we got a mask.
Good
We
Lord,
got a mask
yeah.
for this guy.
I thought that would be a funny name for a tour. The New Variant Tour. Just
yeah, coming
Yeah,
back
it-
now.
it's kind of weird because it's hard booking shows now because these venues have been fucking fucked so many times that they're like they want you to play, but they're worried about the advance,
Yeah.
And like, are we gonna get burned again? Is there like, what someone told me about the other day? Deltacron, like it's like Superman and Batman are now in movies together. Like now they're like combining with like
Yeah.
super variants and
Oh,
shit.
really?
So if it hits right before a tour, who knows?
Yeah.
Right. I know. I was doing shows December and
And you're
January.
doing, you guys,
February.
you're
It
doing
was
shows,
light.
right?
They were light. It was not a lot of bonuses hit during those months, and
You know
now
what's-
people are coming back.
You know what's
finally.
weird is I thought for sure now that things are getting better that like it'd be gangbusters, and all my people are telling me that like literally guys who were selling 25,000 tickets arenas before COVID were like, oh shit, now they're gonna be begging, and these guys are having trouble selling 1,500 tickets. I think people just, my personal opinion is that people just after a couple of years are just like, we were fine without it,
Yeah.
I think they just got used to not going.
Yep. And I think that people are broke. I mean, a lot of
There's
people.
that. I think that's
are
the
not
other
working.
thing. Too. And I think too. I don't think people thought about it before, but I think people are not like. If you really after this, they're not. They realize maybe it's not fun being packed like sardines in a fucking little club theater
Right.
arena.
I think I'm wearing a mask on airplanes forever. Asians were ahead of the curve on that. And I can say that, right?
Yeah.
But because every year we've talked about it, we have kids out here, we'd go back to New York to see the grandparents for Christmas. We'd get everybody sick. The kids would have the flu by day 2. Everyone on the plane has a disgusting cough. Like, I don't even know how they live with that. And I feel better with a mask on with that. And, whatever, it's efficacy, who knows? But I'm sure, blocks some germs, obviously.
Asian people have been wearing the mask forever, and I haven't talked to them. But have you talked to them?
Why is it? Why don't you talk to them?
I just find.
I don't want you to get you in trouble.
No, I can't.
No,
talk
you can't
about
get
it.
in trouble
No, I
for
can't get in
Asian
trouble
hate,
for
I don't
that.
think. Yeah.
I want to ask you also, when you lost your virginity, and what was playing on the truck radio at the time?
Well, I just answered this on a podcast the other day that I do not know the name of the chicken, but it was, these were tough times, and
Yeah.
I was Larry Flint, same thing.
Yeah.
It was a
It takes a tough man to fuck a tough chicken. Wasn't that the saying?
Yeah,
That
that was Will Walker Sr. That was his quote. T-shirt that he made the T-shirts.
That's where it is.
That's how he made his living with those T-shirts, and that's all that knowledge that I learned went on. Now my wife's enjoying it.
Yeah. How is your wife, by the way?
She's good.
Congratulations.
Thank you. She goes out late at night with kind of these country guys. She claims they're just playing chess and stuff. I hope she's being honorable. I think
Chess?
Well, after the series, it became a hit. I bet she's playing chess after Queen's Gambit.
I just don't like to think that she would be messing around on me. But
Did she say playing with her chest?
no, she goes out with. She spends a lot of time with dudes
Yeah.
playing. She claims they're playing chess.
Yeah.
I don't want to ask, but
I think it's bad for the marriage to start interrogating your partner.
that's what I'm saying. I was like, you got to have trust, right?
Yeah. And then when she goes out, do you watch Wheeler Walker, what's he called, Trip? 3?
Yeah. Trey.
Trey.
Trip.
Right.
Trip is from the Lewinsky thing, I think. She wants to hang out with these dudes, so
Yeah.
I got to do it.
Yeah, you got to keep the house
She
in
wants the
order.
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And will you what kind of music are you going to introduce to your kid?
The good shit. I want to get him more into rock, because everyone in Nashville's into country.
Yeah.
I'll play him the Waylon and the Willie and all that stuff, but Guns N' Roses, Metallica, I want him to not be listening to what everyone else is listening to.
Right.
Maybe some punk rock.
The finer points. There was some line in Raising Arizona about how he was going to raise his kid. I forget what it is.
And this is the kitchen where the television is, where you can appreciate the finer things, learn to appreciate the finer things. If your child grew up and was about 16 and then told you, it's a son, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then said that that he felt like a her and wanted to transition, would you support that?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Because you do know I'm gender neutral.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm a they.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you write about me, you got to put they.
I'm sorry. I think I called you a he earlier, and
I
feel
was
like an asshole
pissed,
now.
but I kept it quiet. Yeah.
There's a book. Charlie Kaufman's got a book right now called Ant Kind, and the narrator is a guy who's very woke, and he prefers to use thon.
Thon?
He calls everybody thon.
Now, does it get confusing when you identify as a they? Does that change? Are you no longer a solo act? Do you consider yourself a band?
No, I'm a duo.
You right? That's what I assume.
Yeah, it's like the great, like the Everly Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or the Carpenters.
Yeah, that's a better one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes total sense.
And how do you split the money?
What? We get it all.
Oh, I see.
Oh, we also.
Yeah.
All right.
So you have a joint checking account.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's two of us.
You're right.
I recently told Greg I'm identifying as him and him because I'm awful at grammar. So I have to straighten that out. Did I just get canceled?
I hope so. We could
Don't
use
get
the
me
ratings.
talking about the Oscars, by the way.
What's going on?
What's going
Oh,
on?
the Oscars are going to put Trump right in the White House, in my opinion. That's what's going to happen. I read the Hollywood Reporter predictions. I think the only white American male that he predicted would win is deaf.
Oh,
For every single category.
wow.
Yeah. And anyway, whatever. I'll sound like an 80-year-old angry guy. I'm not, but I think it's going to be the lowest ratings. They're wondering, because last year broke the record as lowest ratings.
Why do you think that was?
Well, listen, in its defense, there was some obviously it was like, well, no one was trusting award shows. Is it really going to be an award show? But then...
Shouldn't COVID make everybody sitting home make it bigger?
Yes, but they thought, is it going to be like there were some weird award shows where there was no crowd and it was almost like an it was
like
it was
like a
awkward.
Zoom award show.
Yeah, and like no show. Like there wasn't going to be a
nobody
band.
saw there was very few movies released.
Well, the problem was there were very unpopular movies, and then also the approach was awful, and there was a real tune-out because it just seemed like, and not my words, but it just seemed like this giant woke festival.
Yeah.
And it was the lowest ratings ever. It dropped 38%. It was like huge drop.
Yeah.
So they're wondering, but Amy Schumer and two other women are hosting it. I'm forgetting who. Wanda Sykes is one.
Okay.
Wanda Sykes, Amy, and another African-American woman whose name I forget. So they have their work cut out for
So you
them.
remember the names of the white people?
Wanda Sykes.
Oh, okay. You got
Yeah. I'm 50-50.
Yeah.
Right.
Huh.
Gabrielle, I don't know who the other
Gabrielle
host is.
Union?
I don't know. That's a good guess. Yeah.
Look at these fucking. Man, you guys should move to Nashville, man.
We got it going on.
Yeah. Have you?
What do you guys think? Will you guys be in LA for a while? Because everyone I meet, I'm here 2 days doing press. Everyone I've met is fucking pissed, man.
Yeah.
Everyone here is just like, I've never seen, because I come here sometimes, do podcasts. Did TV this morning to promote the record. Everyone I talk to is just fucking pissed.
What are they pissed about?
They're pissed about,
Probably working on ridiculousness.
well, hey man, that's not cool. That's a great show.
Sorry, it's a great show. Did you see his joke the other day? He played this unbelievable clip, and he goes, "Oh man, that's crazy." Like I don't know.
That's good.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't know why it's not WGA.
Is it not?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, everyone I talk to, maybe it's mainly because I'm seeing white males, but they're all fucking pissed. They all want to go to Texas, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to mention what the billboard outside says of this building?
Yeah.
We're in the Comedy Store right now. I just pulled up late because it took me an hour and 15 minutes to drive 9 miles. And when I pulled up, it's Welcome Back, Joe.
Joe Rogan's back. He hasn't been here in a long time. So that's
Speaking
exciting.
of that exodus to Texas.
Yeah. I would think about moving to Nashville. I think if I had to pick 3 places.
But where are
in the
you
country-
from again, man?
I
from
wouldn't
New
go
York.
to Texas.
You're from New York.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be a tough adjustment, probably?
I love music. I love the people of the South. They're friendly as hell, and especially if you're in a cool city. That's I don't know. I can just see myself
But
going.
I'm being honest. Like, does the idea of moving out of LA, is that something you talk about?
Me and my wife talk about it. She's more reticent to leave than I am because she feels like she just kind of started a new career.
She also has a chess game, a regular chess game. She doesn't want to leave that.
She has a lot of chess games.
Yeah. And she makes you watch her play chess and record it, which is weird, with other dudes. Anyway.
Is that on the internet somewhere?
I'm sure you could find it. There's probably, yeah.
Chess.com. I don't know how they got it, but yeah, chess.com.
Yeah, I'll check. I want to check that out.
Yeah.
Chessy.
Mike's divorced.
Yeah, I couldn't take the
Oh, yeah.
extracurricular chess activity.
Yeah, so they were playing chess all night.
Yeah.
Your wife was playing chess all night.
Yeah. That was after. Like, listen, I draw when she doesn't come home from chess for 7 days. That's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, my wife.
I'm like,
comes
yeah,
home
it's a
every night.
tournament. I get it, but
Yeah.
where are you?
And then you can hear somebody yelling "King me" in the background and then screaming.
Well, also, just even in her sleep, all I hear is mate, mate, mate.
Yeah.
That's all that she's like in her
Mate.
dreams. Yeah, she keeps saying mate. It's a chess term.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think she was saying Nate.
Oh, Nate.
I don't know. She just says she just can't go without mating.
Yeah.
Well, it's checkmate. I guess that's.
And it's black and white, I assume, right? The players?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Checkers is red. I don't think
Yeah.
she plays checkers.
No.
Yeah. But anyway,
So
Nashville. Wait, I have questions about Nashville. How-
But you're not thinking about moving.
Well, I hate Los Angeles.
So that's what I'm just kidding.
Right, but I still have a kid who's a sophomore in high school. So I'm here for 2.5 more years at least. And then we'll see. There's not much of a career to stay for, and also you can do your careers remotely a little more now.
what about
I
your
don't know.
friendships?
You can do that remotely too.
Yeah, I do that remotely. Christmas cards.
That's really the thing. Is like I go back to New York and I've got these romantic notions of moving back to the city. and hanging out with my New York friends. They're all gone. There's no place I could move to. Like, as much as I don't like LA, I've got really good friends here. And as you get older, those things become more important to you for some people.
Not me. So is Nashville, would you say Nashville's liberal?
Nashville has fucking changed a lot, man. I mean, I'm from Kentucky, but you know, like I've been going to Nashville since I was a kid, and it went from a small southern town to fucking mini LA in my opinion, where it's like, you know, I'm not kidding. I think TikTok stars are moving. Wannabe TikTok stars are moving there. Wannabe country stars.
Theo Von, did he move there?
Yeah.
Who's that band that got the worst Pitchfork review of all time?
No, the mini Led Zeppelin, not the mini Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
I forget their name. Yeah.
Greta Van Fleet.
Yes.
They just moved there, so it's like rock band. Kings of Leon moved there. Everyone's there.
You like Kings of Leon?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They're
But I'm saying like it's like
They love you.
yeah, everyone loves me. But I'm saying
true.
like it's not just country now. It's fucking it's reality show skanks. It's fucking Nashville Homes on HGTV.
Yeah,
it's
the flipping homes. There's a lot of flipping homes.
It's become this whole. It's kind of like I as much as I fucking hate being in LA right now. It's like we go back home and it's like kind of we're back in like wannabe LA, and it's kind of pissing me off, you know.
Gore was from Tennessee. I wonder if Tennessee could ever get, because, you know, Texans, like right-leaning, and I know you don't like to talk about politics, Wheeler, but right-leaning Texas, not right-leaning, red state Texas, one of their fears is, oh my God, with this influx of Californians, you know, they have bumper stickers in Austin, like go back to LA.
Yeah.
So does Jackson Hole, and Wyoming has that. But
we're seeing that in Nashville.
Yeah.
Well, they also got a lot of Latinos who are voting against them, so they could lose the state. They're like almost a purple state.
But I remember that. I remember reading about, I don't know if he's still mayor, but like Lexington, Kentucky had a gay mayor. And that was really surprising to me. Like how that guy must have been incredible. I'm not making any light of this. Like to get elected. Like he must have been swimming against the tide big time.
Yeah.
But there's these pockets, and I think they're popping up more and more. So anyway, I didn't know about Nashville, though. I know Memphis is more old school, I guess.
Yeah, Nashville's definitely becoming mini LA. I mean, it's just fucking. I can't imagine. I know a lot of people moving to Austin. I just can't imagine that it's percentage-wise. It's got to be the same in Nashville. The housing prices are. I mean, here's a question I have for you guys. I just don't understand how people live in LA.
I know.
Like, what is a house like?
You can't get a house for less than $1 million now.
I mean, $1 million house is probably
$1 million house is like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath that's like 2,000 square feet and has almost no yard.
Right, on the west side, there's no way you're getting a 3-bedroom, even tear down
you
for $1 million.
You get a 2-bedroom for $1 million anywhere on the west side.
Because they're seeing a lot, you know, like, and a lot of what's going on also is everyone's like, oh my God, didn't even get to the market, or it was on the market for like 3 hours and we bid, and they're like, it's gone. Because these people have like formed an LLC, partnered up, 2 or 3 of them, whatever it is, they are just buying up places to rent them out. And it's like this corporate kind of push. So that's one of the big factors also.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is that Nashville home, apparently, so like, you can get a mansion in Nashville for like, which is a lot of money, like $3 million. But apparently, and that's what's making me crazy, is like, to an LA person, that's like crazy.
Yeah.
So LA people are buying up these $3 million homes that you apparently.
Have you bought a new house since your newfound success?
I did buy a house, but not a $3 million house.
No.
But
5.
So let me get this straight.
$35 million.
You retired. And then while you retired, you put out an album, and now you're releasing it?
Well, no, I quit. I just had enough of it after the 3rd record, which would have been 2018. And then I had some thoughts about maybe recording, and then COVID hit. I was like, I'm not going to record if I can't play shows. And then like 6 months ago, I was like, let's fucking do it. Let's make a Elvis 68 comeback special. Let's fucking do it. Let's do it big. You know, I got the Wheeler and lights for the rhyme. It's going to be fucking... It's going to be crazy to all you motherfuckers listening. And I got like, let's just fucking do it, you know. I thought, and I'm hoping that this Wuhan flu is going to be gone, but we'll see. I took that from Borat.
Wuhan flu should be in lights behind you at the rhyme.
Yeah,
I think that
right.
would be a showstopper.
So you came back, and as you retire, you actually grow in popularity. You start your music starts to stream more, sell more. Do you feel like you were pulled, like, were you bored, or were you pulled back into it because you felt like people really want to see more of you?
No, I was surprised. I missed it. It had nothing to do with this. Yeah, when I retired, I didn't announce I was retired. I just told everyone I'm done. And then I started seeing streaming and sales numbers just fucking flying. I'm like, first of all, that made me think not to come out because they must like me more when I'm not around.
Right.
So then I was like, you know what? I like making music. I want to make a record because I make all my records with the same people. It's like a fun hang, you know. And I wanted to make a record, and
You're sort of the Tom Brady of country.
Yeah.
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 Right.
What was a dude? Some dude bought a ball, right? What was the story about that?
Oh, yeah. No, a lot of things. He bought like the last ball and it went auction or whatever it was. The price was gigantic.
He bought. No, I know the story. I'll tell you the story. I'm the news guy. He bought Tom Brady's last touchdown for $500,000 football from his last touch for $500,000. Then he unretired. And so, unless if Tom Brady doesn't throw another touchdown, he's fine. But
That's like I had stacks of Mark McGuire rookie cards that were worth hundreds of dollars each, and then the steroids thing happened. And I went to the shop, and they were like, "I'll give you a nickel for each card." It's
Seriously?
over. Yeah.
I bet they've come around because
Maybe
now
they've
it's
come back.
scandalous. Yeah.
Yeah.
did those people ever end up getting into the? Did they ever get in the Hall of Fame? That whole steroid?
I don't think
group?
so.
I don't know.
No.
Sosa and stuff? No, I don't think so. Yeah, absolutely. No, they definitely have not. So Wheeler, don't do this because it's related. Barbra Streisand had this very famous, she announced she will no longer sing live ever. And she had a farewell tour. I think it was like maybe it was New York, Chicago, LA, whatever. But I remember it was at Staples Center in LA. And it was her last. That was the end of her tour. She came home. And it was, the prices to see her last breaths on stage were astronomical. And I think that was 2 tours ago. And so people should sue her.
I did the Corolla podcast yesterday, and as I'm leaving, Gene Simmons was walking in.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say to him, I saw your farewell, which is a true story. I saw his farewell tour in Kentucky 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I bet I was nice to him because it's fucking Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
How many times have they?
I heard he looks like a lady now. Like
He
an old
found
lady.
Van Halen. That's all I'm going to say about that guy.
Yeah. But no,
Right near here.
The other one too was my favorite. So Molly Crew does the same thing every tour's their farewell tour.
Yeah.
The Stones did that a lot.
And
too.
their last tour, they signed a contract, contracting that this would be on a contract, saying this is their last tour. Like, how is that? Like, who's the lawyer for that?
Yeah. I know.
Don't they use in their own contract?
Yeah.
Like, so
That's
they held a
weird.
press conference saying they all signed papers promising it'd be their last tour.
Wow.
Maybe you should retire after each album and keep coming back.
I should, but yeah, what happened with the last one was the kids picked it up in these new social media.
TikTok.
Yeah,
Yeah.
TikTok blew it
Wheeler's
up.
all over TikTok. Do you know that?
I didn't know that.
Drop them out?
When I got the call, that's how out of it I am. It's like I got a call from my manager, like, you're blowing up on TikTok. Okay.
Well, I tell people that-
2 questions. 1, what's TikTok? 2, what does that mean? Because do I get paid for TikTok? Like, what the fuck is that?
TikTok, I think, is a Wuhan social media site.
Well, I'm saying I know now, but
Yeah.
at the time I didn't know what the fuck it was.
So,
and it
do you get
spreads.
paid from that?
Well, I don't know the answer. I would assume I probably would.
Probably,
but,
right?
I think you do. That's very
but it
surprising.
leads to streams and sales.
Yeah. Yeah. And concert tickets.
Yeah, I would hope. I mean, but if you saw someone on TikTok, would you buy a concert ticket? I don't know. We're gonna find out, I guess.
You're gonna,
Yeah.
I think younger people, you probably see a younger crowd come out to your shows than you
Yeah,
used to.
I don't know if I feel good about that, but I gotta assume my shows are 18 and over. I don't know.
Well, what's the average age of the white people at your show? I'm sorry, the people at your show.
Hey, man.
Dude.
I don't know, 62.
No, it's not.
No, it's older than you think. It's a lot of, because there's a lot of those old country fans who.
Yeah.
I also saw you in downtown LA, and they looked like legitimate farm and like country people.
No, people were dressed. I was with you.
No.
They were
I know
dressed
the
up for
difference.
that
I know
show.
the difference. There are some legit. Like I remember when I first moved to
Those
LA.
are like Von Dutch country people.
Even before well, yes, they're also anti-Semitic. I mean, they have that in common with the Von Dutch crowd. No, I went, even before I moved here, my sister lived here. She went to USC and stayed. And she'd bring me to like this very hipster thing, which was the karaoke at the farmer's market on Fairfax.
Oh, yeah, I used to go to that.
And guys with like the Wranglers and I mean legit guys would get up and try to sing country songs. And I'm like, this is amazing. And then it turns out, fast forward 3 years, I worked for then 5 years plus in the CBS building, which the
Across
farmers
the street.
market is in the shadow of. Yeah, but I was like, how close is farmland to here? And they're like, oh, it's all around here.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too, is when I play big cities, New York City, same thing. Is
Yeah.
like, you find out there's rednecks everywhere, man. They find out,
Oh. We had redneck family on Long Island, like no joke, cinder blocks, cars up, furniture on the porch, missing teeth, the whole thing. Except instead of farming, it was more fishing.
Can I tell you it's just, I don't know why this came up, the craziest story. You're talking about white people at my shows. So
I didn't, but this guy did.
This
guy sees color.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, I did a show, one of my first shows in San Francisco. And I remember there was a black security guard came up to me after the show, and he's like, man, I loved your show, but a guy one of your fans called me the N-word. And I go, and I was like, that's fucking bullshit, man. Fuck that. I go, tell me what happened. He goes, this dude, so this is a real story. It's the most disgusting thing that's ever happened to me in my life. And it didn't happen to me. I just heard it. He told me about it. He said a dude at my show was watching the show so fucked up, he passed out, threw up, and shit himself.
Jesus.
And then this black bouncer said, you got to go home. You're on the ground. You're in vomit and shit. You got to get out of here. People are complaining about the smell. And he walled up, and the guy called him the N-word. And the security guard goes, you really calling me that? And you shit your pants? And the guy goes, I didn't shit my fucking pants. And the guy goes, yeah, you did. And he said the guy stuck his finger down his pants, goes like this, and licks his fingers. And he goes, I guess I did.
Jesus.
And I go, so that's the kind of crowd I sometimes get. Like, and I was just like, I remember I felt so bad for this security guard. I gave him a T-shirt and like,
to wipe the other guy's ass?
Yeah, but I was just like, but I talked to him forever because we were both wondering like, what makes you stick your, like, that can't be the first time,
No.
You've done that before, like,
yeah,
that's
a party trick.
That's got to be your go-to trick.
Yeah.
I think all people in San Francisco are like that.
Yeah.
It seems very the type.
Yeah.
That's too bad about that guard, though.
That's terrible.
Are you going to go back and play there? This tour? Are you?
They're asking me now about a West Coast tour. Like I said, I'm gonna do this first run, see how it goes.
All right. So what is the first run?
The first run is.
I can tell you right now.
Oh, thank
Oh, business.
Little Rock, April 29th. Then Fayetteville, Cleveland, West Peoria, Flint, Greensboro, Merle Inlet, South Carolina, Maryville, Tennessee, Omaha, Nebraska, Kansas City, and Wichita. And those are all April and May and the beginning of June. You can go to WheelerWalkerJr.com.
You can also go to cancelwheeler.com.
Oh, I like that site.
You know how you can pre-order albums? We're letting you pre-cancel me before you hear a note of it. If you know you're going to hate it, we can get you the album first, burn it on social media. Can't try to, you can get in on the ground floor and cancel me before the album even comes out.
Is this a real thing? Is that a real?
Go to cancelwheeler.com.
Somebody set up this website, Cancel Wheeler, and it's you can sign up to get news about him being canceled on the site.
Wow, I like that. I like that.
Well, I know they're gonna try, so why not build them a fucking website?
Right.
Go directly, go straight to the fucking source.
Right.
If you're gonna try to cancel me, you probably haven't heard it, so we don't need to play the record.
Yeah.
But speaking of the new record, Fucked by a Country Boy is fucking it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
I haven't heard that
And the
one.
video is amazing.
Thanks,
Who
man.
shot that video? Who directed that?
A guy whose name I can't remember right now, but
Wait, I think I actually wrote it down somewhere. Chris Beirut.
Chris Beirut. Yeah, he did a great job with it.
He did a great job.
Anyone, I want to, in case anyone's listening hasn't heard the chorus. Have you ever been fucked by a country boy, rammed by a redneck, spread by an inbred, who's kind of got your daddy's voice? If you've never been licked by a hick with a hillbilly dick or got a rash on your snatch from some trailer trash, then girl, you need to get fucked by a country boy.
That's like Tennyson.
But that's Dylan, you know.
Yeah. I'd say Bob Dylan will. Yeah, he's gonna see himself in that.
And also, I also gotta say that song's got the best. They always talk about how with "Call Me Ishmael" is the greatest opening line,
Yeah.
right? The opening line of that song is "Hey bitch from New York City."
Wow.
Who got your LA titties?
Hey bitch from New York City with them fake California titties.
Yeah,
You know who I know didn't write that song? Bernie Taupin.
that's right.
Yeah, because
it's
I
good.
do. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
do both. Yeah.
Wow. I've only heard 2 tracks from the album, but it is as good as anything
I'll
you've
get you a link to the whole thing.
Yeah, I wanna
I
get
got
all
a
the thing.
sneak peek at one. And I had a huge question. If technically it can be played on the radio.
That song just came out. She's a country music fan.
She's a country. You have not heard this?
No.
Play it.
All
All
right.
right,
You can
here it
play.
is right here. She's a country music.
No, I want
fan.
you to hear it.
No, but we'll drop it in.
I have, I think,
But it's on YouTube.
demos.
It's on
oh,
YouTube.
it's on YouTube?
But I mean, you can.
Yeah, but the quality will suck.
I'm saying I want to see.
Well, we'll play it
okay.
full, right, while we listen
right.
to subpart 1.
Okay.
I
What,
want to
do
see
you want me to look it up?
Fitzsimmons' reaction.
Oh,
it's-
you know what? I can't play it on.
No, I own my masters. Like you can play whatever you want.
Yeah, but
Is it a pain in the ass?
I had this guy who wrote theme songs for Sunday papers, and then he copyrighted them. And then I said, we're losing all the YouTube money because it's going to you because you copyrighted it. And he goes, I'll tell them not to. And it took months and months.
Well, yeah,
for him to release
you know
his
what?
own-
Don't. We can do it right now just for fun.
Yeah, it might have to be cut out. All right,
Cut
sure.
it out. Oh, who plays the harp? The mouth
My
harp.
buddy Leroy.
Fuck, it's so smooth.
I have a big question if this can be put.
I'm getting older, and I fear that my time has passed. I need a cowgirl who likes beer and Johnny Cash. All these young drunk bachelorettes, man, I've had it up to here. Thank God my angel appeared, and she's a cunt. Music fan. She loves dicks, big cups filled up with beer. She loves ass, getting to hear her favorite song from the band. She's a bitch in country music fan.
Yeah, I know what you're. Maybe maybe just cut this out, and then we can now talk about it.
Okay.
Straight from
You keep listening.
But
glass.
What if we can't
She'll
play it?
go down any back road in her truck. If you
yeah, I'll
ask,
figure it out.
Well, the answer is you can, but it could be a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But I own it, so.
Okay. It just does this auto thing where it finds it and then it takes all your money.
All right.
Yeah, I don't want to.
That's
I don't want
awesome.
to fuck with your money.
I actually did hear that once before.
But anyway, but yeah,
great.
I wonder if some because there technically are no bad words. I wonder if some like a Howard Stern type DJ might like to mess with his boss might try to play that because technically it's clean.
Right. I know. I thought about
I
that
know.
when I heard that. I thought that could be playable. I was thinking about whether or not they would ever have you play at the Country Music Awards, and if that would be the song you would do.
In case the song
They will not.
got yanked or muted during this, there's a lot of so the word country is split in two, right, where you think it would be to make it profane, and so but you say country, so that's what we're talking about. Technically, the lyrics are on paper, it's an absolutely clean song.
Like on radio, could you say she's a bitchin' country music fan? You could say that,
Yeah.
right?
Of course.
So and she'll suck a Knob Creek shot straight from the glass. You're allowed to say that. You just can't.
Yeah.
You can't say Could you say she can't say? You can't say she'll suck a knob.
Yeah, I think you can.
You might. That's even, the...
So, but yeah, but some.
I think different stations police themselves, but I think as far as the SEC goes, I think...
Can I be honest with you? I'm sure the problem is no country music DJs are fucking pussies, and they're not going to take any
Right.
chances.
Yeah.
So maybe some rock dude. The only luck I've ever had with radio, or even doing the only radio I'll do is rock radio because those dudes
Yeah.
don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I mean they give a. Your dad's from
My
radio.
dad was in radio, yeah. He didn't give a fuck. He got in trouble. He didn't because he did a show called The Feminine Forum, which was the first time women got on the radio. And this was like in the 1970s and early 70s. He had women call in and talk about masturbating and orgasms and menopause. It was like it was called The Feminine Forum. And he got taken off the air a couple times, and he kept doing it.
The subtitle was "Shut Up, Bitch," which is weird.
That's right. I know it wasn't.
Yeah.
weird.
No, so but here's an honest question which I've never asked you before. So I know Stern was a fan of your dad's, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
do you think did Stern get some of this stuff from your dad?
No, I don't think so. I think he said,
I mean,
he said he learned from him. When my father died, he did a little eulogy. He said he learned a lot from
an
him.
influence.
Yeah, he was definitely.
I'm not saying taken. I'm saying an influence.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he was definitely. An
Stern
influence.
talked about him when his dad died, for sure.
And Stern has definitely been an influence on me in terms of how I do interviews and what I talk about on the air.
Are you going to go to Stern?
I used to do. Well,
one of those series.
I used to do the
after show.
The after show. Yeah, apparently because I love Stern, I'd love to get on. He's played my songs, but
Yeah.
I mean, apparently you got to be like A-list to get on the show.
Are you going to go to Rogan?
We were just talking about that before. I texted him, but it looks. Here's my new thing: is if I text a dude, and you know about this, right? If I text a dude and my text is green, means he changed his number. He didn't tell me, so I texted him, but I think he must have changed his fucking number. If he's smart, that dude changes his number every 48 hours.
Right. Yeah.
But I'll try.
So all these unsent dick pics are just sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to see him probably tomorrow night, and then I'm doing a show on April 7th, so I'm going to bring it up.
Yeah, I was
I know
going to
he
say.
loves you. He fucking loves you.
I know that your main concern is getting me publicity, so I appreciate that.
Well, I like bringing people together. I think sometimes there is miscommunications in this business, and it's hard when you're going through publicist to publicist, and things get disconnected. And I wouldn't push. I've pushed one person on Rogan in my entire life, and that was Tom O'Neill, who Mike knows very well, who wrote a book called Chaos about the Manson
I read
murders.
that. Yeah.
Did you really?
Because Mike Gibbons told me.
Oh, no
about it.
shit.
Yeah.
So Joe brought him on the show, and they connected, and Joe said it was one of the best podcasts
It became
he's ever
Joe's
done.
favorite podcast of that
Yeah.
year, practically. Yeah.
Well, I want to listen to that. Then.
Yeah, it's
Oh
good.
no, that is the best primer or whatever primer on the book. Like
Is it?
That's how you catch up. The interview was Tom did great, but
Do me
Joe
a
asked the
favor.
right
Do me a
questions.
favor. So what? Because I read the book, but it was pretty. I don't want to say I'm a dumbass, but it was pretty dense. Am I wrong to
It's
say
a
that?
very
It's
dense book.
Yeah,
And- but
and it's like 700 pages.
And I don't know how I got through it because I'm not really a reader. But explain to me the premise of the book.
Would you say, if you're really backing up from the book, you would say a lot of the narrative, a lot of the story about not the Manson case.
And this is well researched.
It's
Extremely.
unbelievably
Yeah,
well
it's
researched.
all corroborated. He's a journalist.
And here's what I took from it. Just tell me if I'm
Yeah.
right. That Manson worked for the CIA.
He had ties.
He was supervised by the
Absolutely.
CIA.
And
They
it was-
kept getting him out of jail.
And here's what, again, tell me if I'm wrong, because it's crazy if this is true. Obviously, it's one of the biggest stories ever. It's true. They were trying to see if they could get acid, use acid to make people murder.
Acid, well, not, yeah, that's
and mind
one.
control techniques.
It's
in
acid
conjunction
and
with the
hypnosis combined. One of the concrete steps was, can we implant memories in someone, in a human, that they become convinced they had and that are real, but are not real. We've implanted them. And then the saddest chapter in the book was, I think it was in Texas, where that dad, who has no criminal record or whatever, comes walking out of the woods and he's covered in blood, and he killed this little girl and had no memory. And Tom goes into all the details.
And he had worked with this guy named Jolly Rogers.
Jolly Rogers, there should be a documentary just on him.
Yeah.
Never mind. I mean, Jolly Rogers alone would have made the most amazing book, even without the man.
So what, by that, again, not your normal Wheeler podcast, because I'm just interested.
I got it.
So by that, not by what you're saying is, so the CIA kind of got just unlucky that who he murdered happened to be famous people that became this national.
No, it's just the opposite. They wanted to upset the civil rights movement and the anti-war movement, so they needed to marginalize hippies. And they saw
And that's in the
Manson
book too?
they saw Manson
Like I
as
said,
a
it's
hippie.
too dense, man.
And if they could get a hippie to commit this kind of atrocity,
This is not. This is not like a crazy.
No.
This is not like.
This is not conspiracy
This is not
theory.
conspiracy. This is
No,
this
it's
is
not
real.
everything's. And in fact, some people's frustration who wanted, that sort of smoking gun, as a journalist, and this is the last thing we'll say about it, but as a journalist, Tom O'Neill, and this is what Joe Rogan really appreciated also, he would be incredibly honest and forthcoming and say, I don't have the smoking gun. Like, in other words, I did all
was
this.
restrained.
Everything points to it. But as a journalist, I can't say for a fact, this conclusion or this conclusion or this. And he lays out everything for you, though. And
all the things
but
we
the
said
MK
are
Ultra
facts.
program, the MK Ultra program was real. And then they had it come up. It had its comeuppance in Washington.
But there must have been some smoking guns, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
there's a lot,
There's
a
a
lot.
lot. They
What was the biggest one you think?
I mean, that Bugliosi, he caught Bugliosi in a ton of lies, and it was just this narrative and story he created, and that Bugliosi withheld evidence. It's fact. Those were smoking guns. He has them all.
That's Manson's lawyer.
That was the prosecutor, who wrote Helter Skelter, which is still, I believe, the greatest selling true crime book of all time.
Yeah, so he talked to a lot of people that were dying and retired from the LAPD and the CIA. There's this program called Contel Pro that was a completely hush-hush, no paper trail. They did whatever the fuck they wanted, and they had a huge budget. And they ran these projects in Baltimore and the Haight-Ashbury Free Clinic, where they basically brought people in and dosed them and experimented on them, and people committed suicide, and it was insane.
So all this shit was real.
Yeah.
And there's a documentary on Netflix, Wormwood. So Tom got together, I think we can talk about this. Tom got together with Errol Morris, arguably the greatest documentarian of all time, Thin Blue Line, loves this type of stuff, especially about law enforcement being, unethical and immoral and criminal. So it didn't work out exactly that first round, but Tom goes, Errol had this, I got to fill 5 hours on Netflix. I have this contract. This may not be the way it went. So allegedly, then Tom goes, hey, take this story. It's unbelievable. It's called Wormwood, which became the documentary by Errol Morris on Netflix about the son of the CIA guy who was killed. They said this official story was that it was suicide. He jumped out a hotel window. Anyway, go watch the documentary because that's not what happened, in my opinion, in most people's opinion.
Yeah, I got to read this book again, man, because that's crazy shit.
And now, can we talk about what he's up to now, Tom O'Neill?
He's a buddy.
I would just say,
buddy of yours.
I don't think we can talk about what he's up to right now. No, he was my neighbor in
Something's
New York
coming
City
that you can watch.
for years, and then we
Oh,
moved
cool.
out
About
to
the book.
Venice, and we're neighbors in Venice.
Cool.
And he's one of our best friends, and he's a legit guy. Let's get back to you.
All right.
I go to your website and I see that you have.
Let's get back to them.
Let's get back to them.
You want to get back to us?
Yes.
Yeah. Back to us.
I saw on your website that you have street teams, and I was wondering, do they proposition you? Like, I would imagine there's women on the street team that sign up because that gives them some kind of an access to you, and you're married, but is there that pull?
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I didn't know I had a street team.
You got a street team, my friend.
I had no idea.
Yep.
What's that mean?
What is a street team?
A street team, and I actually did this for a little while, and it works really well. As you say, do you want to be on my street team? What city do you live in? And say you're going to Lexington, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get half a dozen people that say, yeah, I'd like to be on the street team. And they get You email them like PDFs of flyers, and they print them, or you mail them flyers, and they put them up. They hand out flyers.
So when I was a kid, tell me it was like this.
Media.
When I was a kid, I loved music, of course. I was reading Rolling Stone. There was an ad that said, this is pre-internet because I'm an old man, said, you want free CDs? Call this number. And I called, and they sent me all these, I think it was Capitol Records, maybe sent all these CDs and all these posters. And they said, if you can you can keep these CDs if you put these posters up all over town, kind of like that.
Yeah.
And I did that for because back then a CD was like a big deal, having a free.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know anyone who gotten free CDs. My friend, I was like the envy of all my friends. I got all their new releases, and I would just.
You got those Hare Krishna albums and put up the posters to recruit people.
Yeah, and I bought that thing, where you smack the stapler against the pole, and then there was always people behind me just ripping them down. But I got free CDs, so I guess I got a street team.
You were a street team, and I used to take my street teams out to dinner before the show. We go to a restaurant.
Well, that ain't happened. But
I know that's a lot to ask of you, but for me,
sounds like a
I
cult.
give them the accessibility. Well, you have, but then you have sex with them.
Can I be honest with you? I get pissed on managers sometimes, but it sounds like they're doing shit.
It's the website looks good. It could be a little bit more. It could be brought up to date a tiny bit.
Now, do you have a street team that's trying to cancel you to work for that website? That
Are
would be
there fights
cool.
in the street? Are there like
How the two street teams meet? This is like the Jets and the
could be
Sharks.
West Side Story?
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, that's like cancelwheeler.com probably needs a street team too.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, again, he's good. I said my manager's good, but he ain't that good.
The mean streets.
How would you describe the people that would show up for a Cancel Wheeler street team? What kind of people are they?
I guess woke pussies. Is that a
little redundant?
Yeah, is that a politically correct term?
Yeah, I think it's. On your cancel website, it's
little bitches.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
What music are they listening to in the van on the way to the...
Oh, they're pumping. They love Florida Georgia. What they love is they love cult. And Rogan gave me this term when I did his podcast. I didn't know the term cultural appropriation. Yeah, which is buff, homosexual white men rapping with a country accent, calling it country music. You don't know about Nelly was a rapper, and he raps with all. He's made a ton of money rapping. I guess he's the one rapper who's like, I'm cool with being on country songs. He's on like 900 country tunes. He's the one rapper that they call up for everything. Nelly is one of the. Do you remember who I'm talking about?
Oh, Nelly? Yeah, I remember Nelly, of course.
Nelly's like one of the biggest country artists in America.
Wow.
Jesus.
And he just put out like a full country record of all. I guess it's just other people, and in the middle of the song, and they break it down, and then he raps.
I was gonna joke, is that the only auto-tuned country? But I bet there's a lot of country that's auto-tuned.
Oh, it's all. I mean, you seen these fucking dudes live? They can't fucking sing.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember one year, and then whatever. I always get in trouble anytime I criticize Taylor Swift. But I remember it was the Grammys, and they had Fleetwood Mac. Stevie Nicks was on, and she was doing her song. And Stevie doesn't look like she's gonna bring it, right? She looked a bit old, and keep in mind this is more than 10 years ago. And the new star on the block was Taylor Swift. And Taylor Swift came out, and I foolishly was like, oh no, this is not going to make Stevie look good. Like, here's this fresh, crisp voice. Stevie looked like they just found her outside the Staples Center behind a dumpster. And they both started singing. And then, so I think Taylor started, and it sounded like Taylor started, and then Stevie sang, and you're like, oh my God, Taylor Swift sucks.
Wow.
It happened instantly. And I remember Twitter was really new. It was probably 2000, or it was new to me. It was probably 2009 or something. And I'm like, I was alone. I'm like, how do I know if people are seeing the same thing I am? And I went on Twitter, and everyone was like, Taylor Swift is the worst. Like, she should have never gotten in the ring, so to speak, with Stevie Nicks.
No, I saw Fleetwood Mac. Recently, as in like in the last 10 years, they sound fucking great still.
Well, you love Lindsey Buckingham. I know that. You appreciate his guitar playing.
He's a great guitar player and great singer too, great songwriter. But yeah, I don't know that smart of Taylor Swift, but she's probably a kid then if you're talking about that long
She was
ago.
a kid, and then every time I went back to her, you're like, oh no. And I think she's gotten a lot better and all that. But it was also just
I would say in general,
timid voice next to this monster.
Don't get in the ring with Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
That's a bad move. I would call that. That's probably a manager who got fired, probably.
Yeah. Let's talk about Dave Cobb a little bit, who's your longtime producer now. He's done all your albums?
He's done all my albums. There was one track on this one he did not produce. I'd want the fans to know this, or non-fans to know this so they don't get him in trouble. There's a song called God Told Me to Fuck You on this album. He sat that one out. Because
does he pay you to sit out on a song?
Does he pay me?
Yeah, in a way. It's almost like...
I mean... I guess he does because I don't have to pay him to.
No, like he would produce it and then pay you to take his name off it.
Well, he didn't produce it.
Okay, all right.
But he didn't produce that song, so I did say.
Sounds like God did.
He charged me by the track, so I guess he did pay me because I'd have to pay him for that track.
Right. Okay.
And I said I'll just do him.
Did he feel it crossed the line?
He felt that was a bit much to have because it's hard to say. Because the album actually says, although people don't have physical albums anymore, it says produced by Dave Cobb, except for God Told Me to Fuck You.
Uh-huh.
So, but it's with streaming, it's like people won't know that.
God told him to take his name off that track.
I think it's probably a smart move for him. Because I'm at his studio, he's got racks full of Grammys, and even me, I was kind of like, I don't want. I mean, you're a buddy of mine. You're a great producer. I don't want to get you in trouble.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, and I'll talk about that song for a second because I am shooting the video next week. To me, it's not a blasphemous song. Honestly, a lot of country songs, a lot of my songs are just like stories my buddies told me, and then I put myself as the narrator. And I tell them. And I had a buddy growing up, and this is probably high school. He was dating a really religious woman. I guess then it would have been a girl because she was in high school.
Yeah.
Well, you can say woman, right? High school woman. She was legally.
You're sounding like a woke pussy now. So it's a girl in high school.
I just don't like talking about girl and sex though with me. So they were in high school, and she said, like every high school dude, he wanted to have sex, and she said, I'm very religious, and I'm a virgin till marriage. And he said, well, how about we pray on it? Or she said, how about we pray on it? And he's like, okay, that's cool. And he comes up to her, and the next day they met up. And he goes, did you pray on it? She's like, I did, but I didn't really, or what happened was she didn't really pray on it. He goes, did you pray? I prayed on it. And he goes, man, what happened? He said, God told me to fuck you. And again, this is not making this up. They're married to this day, but it worked. So then I wrote, so that has always been in my head. Like if I ever make it as a country artist, I'm going to record. God told me to fuck you because to him, God told him to fuck her. So I'm playing the narrator. God told me to fuck you. Yeah. So it's not, to me, it's not about religion. It's just about a guy trying to get laid.
Yeah. But also, didn't God tell all of us to procreate?
I think he did.
But I don't think he used that word.
No.
Procreate?
Yeah.
Right.
He used fuck.
Yeah.
The way I do.
Yeah, no, of course.
So
you're not going to censor God. How dare you? That's blasphemous.
Did I read he produced that Chris Stapleton album, Traveler? Was that him?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh,
I'm not going to lie to you.
He's on the stage receiving Grammys every year.
But I love your music, and I think I have a lot of respect for you, but I'm not a big country guy at all. But that fucking album I listen to all the time.
Yeah, that voice.
But it's also so well produced.
But my first album was Bright. I think he did Traveler like maybe 6 months, a year later. I remember Cobb's cars and shit getting a lot nicer after that album.
Yeah. Right.
He definitely moved him up a notch.
Do you feel like he produces you similar to how he produced Chris Stapleton?
Well, not to be too humble, but Stapleton's just got the craziest, like, he's almost like a soul singer,
Oh, I know.
He's such a great voice. I got a fine voice, I guess. So I think Stapleton's just different, With Stapleton more than me, you just turn on the tape. I've never been to a session with them, but I think he just turns it on because I've seen Stapleton live, and that's what he sounds like, So.
Well, Cobb took his name off Muhammad Told Me to Fuck You, which was Stapleton's song.
Oh, that one, his last number one.
Wait, is he Muslim?
No.
Yeah.
But why can't he write that? Muhammad talks to anyone.
Yeah.
You don't have to be Muslim to hear Muhammad tell you to get in there.
All right.
Yeah.
If you ask him, what's he going to say?
Yeah.
You also have new fans. I want to talk about two in particular since you've blown up. I'm going to let you finish your water first. Man, you're thirsty.
That's good water, man.
LA known for its water.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg and Bob Dylan. So
Wait, whoa, what?
Yeah, both fans.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg. Did you saw the video? Snoop Dogg
I did
singing
see
"Fuck
that.
You, Bitch," and then
Wait, what was the video?
Snoop Dogg.
He's like in hair and makeup or something?
Yeah, and he's singing "Fuck You, Bitch." Then he calls me his N-word.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then I said, "And thank you, but I ain't gonna say
Well,
it
you
back."
don't identify as that.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
it's they. You should
Yeah,
have said
it's they. Which could
They.
include, who knows? But he was, you know how Snoop feels a song?
Yeah.
He was feeling this Wheeler Walker Jr. song.
Was it on in the background while he was singing it, or he was just singing it?
No, it was.
Oh, it was on.
He was.
Yeah.
He was. You could tell he knew the words, so
Yeah.
he played it. He made an Instagram video that definitely.
Really?
I mean, I guess I should send him a gold record too, but he's probably got a lot. It definitely helped. Yeah,
That helped,
Yeah.
for sure.
Definitely opened me up to a new audience.
Well, take a pic. How about just do a picture tribute? Take a picture with the gold. This is for you, Snoop. You had a hand in this, something
Yeah.
like that.
I'll
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
All right, now wait. What about Dylan?
So, Bob Dylan. Well, what happened was that this I wasn't supposed to tell anybody, but it leaked. But Bob Dylan about a year ago during COVID, I think people were just looking for shit to listen to, and
Yeah.
he found Wheeler, and he's apparently he likes this kind of shit. I don't know, but and I know some people in his circle who like it, so maybe hear it from them. I got a call from my manager, like, you're getting a call. He said tomorrow at 4 p.m. you're getting a call from Bob Dylan.
What?
Wow.
So I sit down, 4 p.m., Norman Smith, whoever. There's like 5 dudes that like we'll be there, By the time 10 different people, Pat, he's coming.
It sounds like Tom O'Neill's book.
Yeah.
All the layers. It's tense.
And-
This is
Yeah,
tense.
but it was like, it was a lot of work to be near my phone at a certain time just to hear him go, I dig. He said, I really dig your stuff, and that's all he said. But the handlers were the guys who talked most of the time. But just to hear that was pretty fucking cool.
Whoa.
And that was
But
the whole conversation?
And that was it. And he was just like, I just want to tell you that. And then, and I was gonna keep it to myself, but then I think someone in his camp told somebody who told like CMT.com or something. So I was like, if it's out there, I'll just talk about it. you
Yeah.
know?
Man.
Wow.
I did not know that story. That's incredible.
And
Yeah.
what did Dylan mean to you in music?
Well, Nashville Skyline was a big album for me because I was, as a kid in Kentucky, and my family, a lot of family in Tennessee. I know it sounds silly now, but just to see a rock star, a big star with the word Nashville on his album was like a weird thing at that time. You didn't see that at all. It was like everything was about New York, L.A., San Francisco's hippies and shit. And so it was like he's a rock star who gets country, and because he loved that country, he loved Hank Williams and he loved
He grew up
Johnny
on it.
Cash and
Yeah.
he loved all that stuff. And also, to me, the main thing is the I don't give a fuck attitude, which I kind of base my career on, which is, I've got the bootleg. I talked to Bill Burr about this once when I did his podcast, which is when he did that electric tour, his first electric tour where he just got booed for fucking a month straight. They put out a bootleg series that I have that's 30, and I have all of them. It's 30 concerts. Same set list, him getting booed every fucking night.
Yep.
So if you get down, when I get down on myself, sometimes I'll just listen to Dylan. I basically got like 300 hours of Dylan getting booed. So if I ever get down on myself, what am I fucking doing? You got 300 hours of the greatest artist of all time
God, yeah.
getting booed.
When Dylan...
And sorry to interrupt, man.
No.
But when you listen to it now, it is the best rock and roll. It's the best music I've ever heard in my life. Period. The best live music I've ever heard.
Who was backing him then? Was it
the band? The band.
Except in the European tour of it, because you probably have some from America too, Levon Helm famously didn't go across the pond and said, "I was not born to be booed like this." And so they got a replacement drummer, but it was Robbie Robertson and Danko and everybody else was backing him, I believe, at that time.
Yeah, and it's like I said, the best music I've ever fucking heard, and people are booing him. So it's a good
Garth Hudson, and
it's a good thing to listen to. That if people ain't if you're in doing anything and people ain't getting what
well,
you're
I told you. So all in college, you were probably the same. All when I was growing up, there was this coveted. I think it was called. I think it was mistakenly called Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
In June or something, or May. It was May. I remember. And anyway, and it was the first set was acoustic, and the second. It turned out the one that everyone really loved, I think, might have actually been Manchester. Anyway, we could geek out on Bob Dylan.
I'll clarify it for you. The first bootleg was just the one concert.
Yeah.
Was that Dylan
Judas.
Dylan officially put out.
Yeah.
And it's called the Royal Albert Hall concert in quotes.
Yeah. Right.
Because it's actually the bootleg was misprinted, so they called it the Royal Albert Hall concert as a joke. When he officially released it, even though it wasn't Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah, and now I'll totally geek out. But my story was, I got the album, I couldn't believe it, and I played it. It was a CD, played it in my car, and I had always heard it, and it was very subpar audio quality. And so a guy goes Judas, because he's a traitor, he's left country. The first set was
Left folk,
right? Right, he didn't go to country yet. Left folk. And left acoustic. And so the first set was acoustic, and then would get angry, and the fans didn't like it, and they knew what was coming. He played the whole second set really loud electric. And so right before Like a Rolling Stone that night, a guy he screams out Judas. And then as you just said, like Dylan returns and goes, I don't believe you. You're a liar.
You're a fucking liar.
You're a fucking liar. And then he mumbles something. And that's all I knew all those years. And now this CD with all this cleaned up audio. He then turned, faced his drummer, and part of this is in the Scorsese documentary, No Direction Home. Was that the name of that?
Yeah.
And he turned and goes, "Play it fucking loud."
You're right. He said, "You're a liar."
Yeah, you're a liar.
Play it fucking loud.
And then he turns around, and it was. I just had all these visions of like. This is when Picasso was like, "Oh, you like my, I'm giving you. Do you like this? Here's fucking cubism, And I know it's not that simple, but basically it was this it was this high art moment, and he just doubled down. Yeah, it was unbelievable.
And that's why I love. He still does it.
Yeah,
like everyone I know goes see Dylan. Man, how was it? He's like, it sucked. He played. It's like it's like he wanted to piss us off, and I think he does.
Yeah,
like he just like.
Well, I remember it's like seeing Bill Hicks was like that. He was a guy who was a very progressive liberal comic in Texas, in Houston, Texas. That's where he came up. And he just, night after night, he went on in front of these crowds that did not fucking agree with his politics. And he just didn't give a shit. And so his voice got so razor sharp. He got so good, and so he didn't care. And then he started to tour, and he started to attract people that actually dug his
You know how I know about him?
How?
Tool. I love Tool. They're a metal band,
Oh, yeah.
And they sample him.
Oh, is that right?
That's cool.
They're big fans of him.
Nice.
And one of his albums I had when I was a kid, one of Tool's albums had like a picture of Bill Hicks inside.
Oh, man. I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, if people aren't familiar with Bill Hicks, he's probably had a bigger influence on comedy than almost anybody that I know of. Like, if you
and
take
a big
away,
influence on metal.
If you take away Pryor and Carl and all those guys, like the people in my generation, were Rogan and Marin and the guys I started with in Boston. Everybody embraced Hicks, and everybody.
Can I be honest with you? After Tool was talking them up, because I love Tool, I went and bought a Bill Hicks album, and maybe it's just an age. It just felt like it was very political. It was so political that it was like felt like a political monologue or something.
It could be the wrong album. You gotta get the right album.
What's the right album?
I think it's
his stuff about
against
called, corporate America and smoking, and he has a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, no, it's great. I can't think off the top of my head what it was. It might have been Live from Houston, but
I want to hear.
But there was a guy that was just in a coma, and he got out of the coma, and he asked for them to play Tool for him. Did you read that in the news yesterday? Yeah, some guy asked for him to play Tool while he was like in and out of a coma.
Oh my God!
That'll get you out of it.
Getting back to the Dylan call, I thought it would be a funny thing would have been when finally Bob Dylan gets there and he's like, hey, you would have been like, hold for Wheeler Walker. And then like and then, Wheeler Walker's going to come on in a second. Just make Bob Dylan wait.
Yeah. Or just like, I should have talked to him, while I was taking a shit or something.
Your
Like
gold
Johnson,
toilet.
Lyndon Johnson
As
used to do that.
if he wasn't. Yeah.
Right.
That was Lyndon Johnson's move. He would meet with heads of state and he would sit on the toilet and take a shit while he was talking to them.
He's probably like, which call is this? Is this the Make-A-Wish? No, it's the next one. Who's this? Oh, yeah, all right. I'll tell him. I dig his stuff.
I didn't know that about Lyndon Johnson. I'm learning history, man.
Yeah, that's what this podcast is about,
Yeah.
from what I've heard.
All right, I want to ask you a couple other questions
I got a
before I
piece
let you
of-
go. Have you bought your parents a house yet? Because that's kind of a sign of success as a musician, I think.
No, because they're kind of assholes.
I heard you bought their house and evicted them.
That's a good idea.
Is that not true?
No, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right.
No, I ain't buying my fucking parents' house.
Yeah.
After all the shit they gave me for being all the, let me smoke weed in the house.
Yeah.
They,
They put a kibosh on that.
yeah. After all them, they were
Yeah.
fucking assholes. I'm not that country star on People magazine. Like, look what I did for my. I know what you're saying. That's the big fun thing, but no, but
So you're not going to show up to an award show with your mother on your arm?
fuck no.
No.
Yeah. Also, you grew up telling them, God told me to masturbate in here constantly.
Well,
If that door is closed,
they shouldn't have fucking picked the lock.
you put your necktie on the door just so they knew,
Yeah.
like he's
Yeah.
busy.
God told me to finger my cousin. Have you?
That's
B-side?
that's on the new record. Yeah.
Did you? Have you ever, like, when you were struggling, had to borrow money?
Depends on what you mean by borrowing. I mean, I definitely can I cut a song here? I know it'll be a hit. And I'll let you have a piece when it blows up. So that they would lend me shit, So,
And they got paid back then. They must have.
well, the early shit didn't sell.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I guess that would be more in the stole money category.
Right.
Yeah.
You never slept in your car, though, did you?
Fuck no.
No. I hate when people have to say they slept in their... You know what the truth is? They probably fell asleep once in their car and woke up at 4 a.m. and drove
Yeah.
home, and then they tell everybody, like Jewel living in a fucking van in Alaska. You can't live in a van in Alaska.
Yeah, what's up with that? I never questioned that. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a good story. I don't like making up shit,
Yeah.
She
Tell
slept
real
in her
funny.
van, which was in her garage.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how it went.
Have you ever done a performance and walked off stage?
I have done that. There was a concert where, here's what fucking pisses me off. Sometimes these festivals, and I stopped doing. I told them no more of this shit. They would have me on these festivals. I'd be like, oh cool, they give me a decent check to play this like big country music festival, and what they don't tell me is that I'm playing the fucking, because there's kids and there's like.
What's
It's a- it's a-
Lilith Fair?
Yeah.
It's like a clean country festival, and I'm playing midnight on like this dirty little fucking stage. And I remember one of those festivals, I fucking lost it, man. I was like, because I talked to a security guard. I said, I was at the festival, and the security guard wanted to take his picture with me. And I said, well, I guess I'll see you at midnight when I go on. He's like, we get off at 11. I go, well, what the fuck am I doing down at the fucking second stage at midnight? And then, so they let security go at 11. I played the fucking second stage. I got hit with a fucking, you ever been hit with a full can, like a unopened can of beer
No shit.
in your fucking chest?
That's heavy.
Yeah, and I put my guitar down. See you fucking later.
Wow.
Give me the check. I'm going the fuck home.
Wow.
You
Damn.
didn't provide adequate security.
No.
Yeah.
I'm going home,
Wow.
and I did.
Put
and
up
I got
that
my
chicken wire.
And again, I got my check.
All right, well, Wheeler Walker, you're going home now. You just did Fitzdog Radio again. I think it's going to be the kind of bump that you got when Snoop sang your song on Instagram.
It's the bump you're going to give to ridiculousness from appearing on there, I think.
That's right. And we want to remind people the album is called Sex, Drugs, and Country Music. It's out April 15th, everywhere you can find it. Spotify, Apple Music, you name it.
So it's on YouTube already? How many of the tracks?
2.
Wow. Very cool.
And the tour dates you can get at his at cancelwheelerwalker.com.
Cancelwheeler.com, I think.
Just Cancel Wheeler. Okay, cancelwheeler.com. If you are offended, if you're
If you're a little bitch.
if you're a little bitch,
Yeah.
we recommend you don't go.
Well, you go to cancel,
Go to the cancel site, but
buy the album, make sure you want to cancel it.
if you're gonna go to the concert, go with the understanding that this is a guy that was born to fucking rock, and that things are gonna happen there that you might not be
A
comfortable
dude
with.
might eat his shit.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on, my
Well,
friend.
thanks for having me. I love you guys. It's cool to be here.
Oh, great having you.
Yeah, great having you. We'll see you next time.
Awesome.
All right.